YouTube, so it sounds pro.
I know. I agree with you.
I'm sure I could set that up for you.
Well,
Let's do it. We're
yeah,
live.
let me pull that song up.
Let's do it.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yes.
That's what the song's about. So weird.
Yeah, man. All right, we're gonna get ready. We're gonna start our the Ice Bucket Challenge song. This is our new theme song for the Watch Us Trade Room. It's gonna be epic, guys. Sung by some. Oh yeah, here we go. Such a great dancer, this guy.
Let's do it.
Do it. Let's do it.
He's like an Indian Don Johnson.
It's an ice bucket challenge. It's an ice bucket challenge. It's an ice bucket challenge. Do it. Let's do it.
Wow.
There you go, folks. That is motivational music right there.
Wow.
Do it. Let's do it by some Indian guy.
Coming live and direct.
Yes, I am very live and direct. Yes. Anyway, with that being said, folks, it's Watch Us Trade Live. Check us out, thecryptoschool.io. Go there, join the room, and if you follow us on Twitter at Real Rogue News, I just posted up. You know, I always say this, guys. Documentation beats conversation, and if you don't have the Emancipation Declaration, then you have all sorts of constipation. So with that being said, on the Twitter feed, I put up records of the man known as Cowboy and the man known as Z and all their trades. They are up over 2,600%. Documentation beats conversation. So go to at Real Rogue News on Twitter and check that out for yourself. No BS, straight to the source. And again, folks, check it out, thecryptoschool.io. Click on the Watch Us Trade link and join the revolution. We give you different options to pay. You can pay month to month on credit card. You can pay month to month on Bitcoin. Heck, we even have a new BTC No Moon discount right there. No Moon discount.
That's not going to last long. It's
not going to last long. 25% off. 25% off for 6 months of entertainment in the Watch Us Trade room.
Yeah,
so
like
go
at this point, you're just lucky I didn't get around to changing it yet. So take advantage soon. It's coming down.
Monopoly money.
Yeah.
Yeah, take your Monopoly money, convert it into God's money, which is gold and silver.
Yeah, and think about, like, in all seriousness, a 6-month subscription to Watch Us Trade. Like, you know, I mean, Cowboy can speak to this, but man, that triangle thingy, as the pros call it. It sure seems like we're ready to bust out of that. In fact, did we bust out of the bearish triangle thing?
I don't know. You have to pull up a chat, Cabby.
Well, you know what? You guys probably have to have me do this.
Sounds so stupid. I'm sleepy.
Make sure your private information,
please,
covered, and all the pictures of your
text messages with your mom.
My social security number, all that stuff. Not like this.
Yeah, and the pictures of your genitalia, please cover it up.
Well, don't cover that up.
Yeah. So we got. I'm not going to say that. All right. So
we post that video we took in Utah of that guy dancing, or in Denver,
the airport.
In the airport. Did we ever show that to you, V?
No.
Me and Cowboy were waiting for our separate flights in Denver, and this guy who worked for the airport had like a little portable speaker and was on his lunch break and was clearly like getting ready for his American Idol dance audition, and was like cutting the rug like you wouldn't believe. The guy was like spinning and dipping and doing gyrations. Man. It was amazing. So we quietly videotaped it. It was amazing.
Nice.
Actually, so as not to be, I don't think he would have cared if he knew.
No, come on. He was doing it in front of hundreds of people. This guy did not care.
Yeah, he didn't care. Although I did, like, just, you know, an effort to maintain some kind of manners. I did it with the selfie cam behind me. So, but
yeah,
there's like a lady that was over there, like,
like,
right. Just
right in front of him, just dying laughing, taking a video. So I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, it's out there. I sent it to all kinds of people. I can find it. But yeah, that was
what I was referring to though is this long-term bear market, have we broken out of the trend or no? Or did we start to?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
And that's I mean, I have the charts up right now. So and I'm gonna kind of do a comparison, and then I'm gonna show everybody that as we're speaking.
Okay, cool.
So but to understand whether or not we've broken out of the trend, the answer is pretty much no.
Okay.
That's the answer. Now
Came close, right?
we poked our head out and we groundhog dayed and went right back.
Okay, yeah.
So that was the thing. We Bill Murray'd that one. So if we look at this though, there's a disparity in price between, say, like Bitfinex and Binance that use Tether, and then you have like, say, Coinbase and like I think Bitstamp and a few others that do not use USDT. And what had happened was, and there's still some speculation as to what all happened, but there is some FUD created around Tether. There always has been. I tend not to use Tether. I will stop out into Tether and then I will immediately convert into something like USD that doesn't have that FUD when I want to use a stable coin. For those who don't know what a stable coin is, if you are trading cryptocurrency and you want to exit the cryptocurrency market into the dollar, they have these coins that are pegged to the dollar price. They're called stable coins. And that way you can get out and essentially preserve whatever profits you've made. USDT Tether is one of them. It's the most famous one. And essentially it has some FUD around it. They were going to do an audit sometime, I think 6 months to a year ago, and they never did that audit, which is kind of concerning to me. I mean, why wouldn't you just be audited? That's, not like
it's kind of a big company to sort of move a important thing like that and not talk about it.
Yeah, it's like the Fed. Why wouldn't the Fed allow any audits? Oh, they don't. Okay, so
yeah.
It's one of those things where, if you got nothing to hide, then So if you subscribe to the where there's smoke, there's fire, and when people have like lots and lots of money, all I can say is that just with the perception of FUD, I understand that the markets will swing heavily just because people get scared. And so I don't use it because of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I profited a lot on that this time around. And then people who use Tether, I don't think they lost any money. A lot of people made money. But long story short, was what happened was there was FUD that was created around Tether. A lot of people sold their Tether so that they could go into Bitcoin. A lot of it went to Bitcoin, which is what pushed the market up, arguably. Now, if that's the case, though, there's a bunch of Tether out there that needs to be burned. So there was a supply issue. This is the theory. Now, I'm only speaking based on theory. I don't know that this is fact. But the theory is that it's a supply-demand issue because you're supposed to burn Tether. And, when you're dealing with exchanges like Binance and any exchange, those transactions do not happen on the blockchain. You're inside that exchange. You're doing, they settle at their own pools. And then once the money comes out, that can occur on a blockchain. On the blockchain.
And even then, it's coming from. I was just dealing with this week because I did a large transaction, and the person wanted my wallet address, and I was like, "Well, it's coming from Binance," and they're like, "So what's your wallet address?" And I was like, "It's coming from Binance's wallet. It's not coming from my wallet."
Well, and Binance I think they use individual wallets and stuff like that. So it gets actually a bit convoluted because
they actually there's a huge wallet that most of the money, if you send Bitcoin out of Binance, most of it will come out of this one centralized wallet.
No, so there you have it. I mean, and each probably has a different program with that as well.
Yeah.
But one thing that's important to note is that you're talking about a pretty complex deal. So with the Tether, what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to burn the Tether when it gets not used. Or when it gets, what's the word? When the supply of Tether is supposed to go down because everybody sells their Tether, then they're supposed to burn that supply and to kind of match the supply and demand. And so there's a lot of excess Tether on the market. Therefore, Tether inflated. Supply and demand literally took hold. And then you had Bitcoin on Binance and Bitfinex go up in USDT value, not USD value, but USDT value. And that's where it gets kind of tricky. So at that time, I believe Bitfinex halted, fiat gateway and all this crazy stuff happened, and it all happened really fast. And now the price seems to be kind of coming together. We might see a shakeup here in about 2 minutes. The futures is closing here in about 2 minutes, although it's the CBOE futures, which is nowhere near as big as the CME. So if it hasn't happened by now, I doubt it's going to happen at all. I think we may just be on a similar path. I close all of my positions into True USD about, I don't know, an hour or two ago. I did it live. I told everybody what I'm doing for their entertainment purposes. So, there's that. But what we're looking at here is, if we see a big wick down, we're going to know why, or a big wick up for that matter. Okay, so we got, about a minute left, maybe a little bit more. So having
very exciting.
Yeah, this is kind of an exciting time. But you can see doing it live. You can see these charts actually match each other pretty much. I've got the prices lined up right here, so these are congruent. Everything is pretty well matching up until you get to this dump. And after this dump, it's still pretty matching. You're always going to have disparity between exchanges, but this is the big disparity where the Tether event happened. We spiked all the way up to 7,800, which poked us out of that long-term downtrend. And then if you look at like Bitfinex or Binance, then we have poked out of that long-term downtrend. Look at Coinbase or anybody that does not use Tether, then we are still in that long-term downtrend.
Oh, wow.
If you look,
that's some very nice evidence. People were wondering, is this the Tether thing? Is it not? I mean, most people think it was. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and we're going to zoom out and like look at that visibly here in a minute. We have about, 30 seconds left maybe before features close. So I think we're good to go. I don't think we're going to see any big swings today. We may see some bigger swings over the next week. This could have been the big swing. That game could have been like, the reason why they might have wanted to push the price up so people who were in the futures market who were long don't lose their shorts. And I mean the shorts they're wearing.
Yeah, I thought that was a great play on words. As soon as you said it, I'm like, lose their shorts. That's great.
Yeah, it's so basically what's pretty cool is that looks like futures have closed and no big movement. I closed all my positions 2 hours ago to be cautious. We made a lot of money over the last 24 48 hours. A lot of altcoins ran. We got into ZRX before it pumped. We'll look at that. But to look at this long term that Frank has been astutely asking about, I'm going to do.
Sorry.
No, sorry. Astute is a good thing. All right. So
yeah, but I didn't think you meant it. I thought it was your nice way of saying being annoying.
No, you're being astute. So if you go like this, right, and you're to look at the long-term downtrend, it's arguable as to when it began. It's actually kind of a curve. A lot of people are actually thinking this is not a downward wedge, and we'll get into all of that like later. But downtrend lines are very subjective. Triangles are subjective. If I were to actually go like this, then I could start from the top. And this at one point was a downturn trend line, long-term downtrend.
Right.
Then this was, then that was.
Right.
So I mean, it's really kind of subjective. If
it's
you're
easy to say we broke out, it's a bull market now.
Yeah. I mean, but arguably this, so right there, technically we broke out here from the top. If we were looking at that now, if we were kind of looking at this as a downward wedge. I'll actually do one at a time here. So, technically we kind of, I just added an alert. I don't want to add an alert. Sorry. I don't know what the hell just happened there. Let me see. I started looking at my Forex stuff. Give me 1 second. That was Coinbase. All right, now we're back. I'm looking at Heiken Aichi candles. All right, hold on, guys. I just messed my whole thing up. All right, so technically on the short term, I'm going to delete this alert. Yes. On the on the midterm, even on Coinbase, it's all very subjective. We're so close to this line. I don't want to see we broken out on Coinbase. We're certainly skirting the top. If you want to go by from the top here, right? But a lot of people are not looking at that. There are those who like to do this type of metric, and I'm kind of one of them. I'm not going to lie. I would prefer to look at it smoothed for a more common line for all these tops, right?
Right.
And it looks like we just came across the top of it. On this one, we poked through and sort of poked back down. But again, it's at that weird like twilight moment. See, even if you were to go by that, we're still below it on despite what I said earlier, Bitfinex is still kind of below it. I mean, I have different, if you want to just go by this most recent pennant that was created, you know, the pennant had a breakout on Bitfinex. So this is your pennant right here and kind of right here. And I'm being very quick and very dirty on that. Frank, no jokes. So, you know, if you want to go by wicks, we broke out here, right? If you want to look at this as like a pennant or a flag. If you want to look at this in that same vein on Coinbase,
oh, cool,
then you can do it like that too.
Oh.
Yeah, this is what the cool thing is. Once you have a big enough subscription to, I should have done this months ago. I finally upped my TradingView subscription to like a professional trader level, which is what I do for a living, and I probably should.
Yeah, it's kind of your job.
Kind of my job. Darn it. Damn it. What did I do? I'm trying to work too fast. All right. How do we get rid of this? For somebody who's on this thing all day. All right. So if I were to go here, we're still well within this second. Well, let's do this. Go from here. And we'll shoot down. Yeah, so on either one, we popped out of the recent pennant here. We're still well within the pennant on the like non-tether affected price. So, you know, now if you look at Bitcoin, I'd have to look at CoinMarketCap to find out what percentage is traded in dollars and what percentage is traded in Tether. This is actually something I didn't think to do. So you've got BitMEX, although you have to watch out because this isn't actual real volume on these, you know, BitMEX, and it's a lot of it's leverage traded, you know, it's derivative. But this one, these are at spot, not derivatives. So you're looking at USD on BitMEX. Actually, that's a USD price, but it's I send Bitcoin there. So yeah, all right, fine. You got Tether. I don't know, KRWR. I think they're a stable coin like Tether. 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 This is a JPY. Actually, that's a fiat. This is an Ethereum. This is in ZRX on Binance. A lot of ZRX being traded recently. That's why it's up high. Tether.
Plenty of Tether, yeah.
Finally, we see a USD price, and it's like 1%.
Yeah.
USD price, and it's like 1%. So BitMEX aside, because this actually, if you look at this asterisk right here, something a lot of people don't understand. Well, BitMEX has the most volume. Actually, no volume excluded. What your double asterisk is. So whenever you see an asterisk, read it. What I can tell you is that according to this, most of your Bitcoin is not traded in the dollar. So this might actually mean that the Tether price means a lot more than it does. And back to our double chart here, which is really interesting. You're looking at, like, I still think that the dollar price is the realistic price because that's just what people are trading in, but the world might have changed. And you have the Bitcoin to you. I mean, it's a Bitcoin dollar, but Bitfinex is based on Tether right now. I mean, based on this metric, based on the way this is going, and it's pointing downward. And then you have a non-Tether related Bitcoin price over here, which is like Coinbase and everywhere else, where people are actually using dollars to buy it. And you have it sort of being just bullish somewhat. The Rune indicator is one to look at here. Overall, you're looking at a bearish on the Tether related ones and a bullish Rune movement on the non-Tether related. And what does that tell me? It tells me the prices are probably equalizing. And because the disparity was so severe on the Tether side, I would imagine even though Tether has what seems to be the most transactions or more than the dollar or more than fiat per se, I still think that it's going to pull back downwards very slowly to the regular dollar price, which means that we're probably going to stay within our grand consolidation. It might have given the price a boost enough to kind of change the market a bit. And in my, like, I go to bed fantasy of waking up and we're out of the bull market, this could have an effect on it. I don't know. I mean, 300 million Tether were just printed like in the last couple of days again. So generally that means we're going to see a run. It might be that they're preparing to push up the price in the case that the futures boys want to play a game next week when the CME happens, right? So this next week, as it is with all third weeks of the month, you know, I'm playing a little more cautiously. I made a lot of percent in the last 3 or 4 days, and I'm hanging it up for the moment. I will enter certain trades very carefully. Mostly, I will stay in true USD, and that's my explanation of all the stuff, Frank, that you were asking.
Very, very cool. And some of our company stuff was in true USD. We actually got a bump when the Tether thing happened because a lot of people were moving their TUSD into Tether. Their Tether into TUSD.
No, there's still a 5% premium. If you look at the USD to USD.
Yeah, it's like 105, 104.
105, yeah. So we're, I profited on that one because there was more than that. I think it was like 0.08 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then a fair amount of that, a fair amount of TUSD I used to buy into Tether because I knew Tether probably would come back, and then it was down to like 92, and now it's up to like 97. So I made that premium, and then I double dipped on that.
Nice.
These are the games that we play.
Yeah.
And I kind of meant to do it, but kind of not. It was like I was doing other moves that involved that. And I was like, well, yeah, that's not a bad thing. And in fact, I think it might be a good thing. It's just, I kind of checked the numbers in the back of my head. Like, okay, is this going to hurt me? No, I think it might help. And I came back later, did the math. Like, oh yeah, I made like 8% on that. It's kind of a nice little surprise for payoff for being cautious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too, how unstable the stable coins can be.
Right. Well, I mean, it's, I trade Forex all day long, and,
Mm-hmm.
so you have coins that move very little, but in relation to each other, you see these pretty decent.
Yeah. I think it was, I don't remember the coin he mentioned. It was a fancy name, but Crypto's News was talking about stable coins. And there was one that was based on, I think, Ethereum smart contracts. And he was going into the technicals of it. I think this was from his show yesterday, if anybody wants to check it out. But and he was saying this one that was based on smart contracts instead of dollars in a bank account or something like that was actually holding really true. Like it was like barely moving at all. Meanwhile, we're watching TUSD at $1.15 at one point, and USDT at whatever it was, 92 cents.
Absolutely. Let's cover one more thing. I guess we can cover the almighty, highly used coin of all coins, and you guys know what I'm referring to. You guys know it. It's the means of everything.
I think we wrote a song about it.
Yeah. So go ahead and let's talk about Litecoin.
Litecoin, and CryptoNekos and I covered this a little while ago. And here's the thing about Litecoin. Nothing against it. I think that at one time Litecoin was really, sorry, F Joe just was giving me a hard time for liking PPT. Yes, I still like PPT. We'll talk about that after we talk about Litecoin. So F Joe, stay patient. Litecoin was a good coin, great concept. And basically, I think it's outmoded. I think that it doesn't have a place. I think that it could. I think in the future it may have a place. I know they were talking about trying to do some new things with it to try to make it more relevant. But frankly, Litecoin was almost as secure as Bitcoin. I think it was actually, if I'm not mistaken, a Bitcoin fork. And I might be wrong about that. But essentially, it's a Bitcoin clone, but it's written to have a lot higher scalability of transactions, so you can transact much more quickly. I think SegWit was implemented and a few other things, and you were supposed to be able to buy your Litecoin with coffee and shop online and use Litecoin for that. And technically you could. I know last year a lot of people were using Litecoin for the transactions.
And it could happen, but it doesn't look like it's happening.
Well, the problem is you have to have a reason for it, and it has to be better.
There's got to be more than 3 people that are using Litecoin. You guys, 3 people out there right now that are using Litecoin, just 3.
Yes, well, the price will
maybe 10. That's about it.
I'll bring up a chart. The price reflects it. So, here's the thing about charts. I love fundamentals. Fundamentals actually I made a lot of money on because you can tell what's going to happen with fundamentals, right? Something's going to happen, jump in a coin, and then the chart will reflect the fundamentals. But overall, charts tend to reflect fundamentals, and I am a technical chartist trader. So if you look at the chart of Litecoin, and again, there's no emotion here. There's no I was right, you were wrong, although sometimes that feels good. But the reality, I don't like being right because people lost money, because I am right and people lost money at the same time. People did not lose money because of anything I said or did, but I just happen to be right and people lost money in that same conversation. I was correct. Like, as a matter of fact, I didn't lose money because I was right. So if you look at Litecoin, I'm going to go back to the daily because the carnage is just much more visible on the daily. I'm such a jerk. So what we're looking at here is this box is like Litecoin support. And, CryptoNetGoes likes to talk about this battering ram effect. And so essentially, when you beat on a support long enough, it's going to fall. And it's been beating on this support since the summertime, since August 15th or so. We have been repeatedly pounding on this 85, 86 area. We did break below that in December, early December. We really dumped below that, and then we rocketed up. So we hit some kind of a demand zone, which we can actually record that for those of us who in the future want to make a bunch of money. Looks like we dipped on at least this exchange to roughly very low, almost nothing, to like 350,000 Satoshi. So I look at Litecoin Bitcoin because that's what, I mean, we did the math, like less than 5% of all Litecoin is traded in dollars now. So, we look at where people trade it, and we are currently at this 8,600, 8,500 support, and we just broke below. So if I zoom in right here, we're actually at 8,170. It just doesn't look good, guys. You have a coin that is on every major exchange. Like, it's on Coinbase. It's on the biggest. You can buy
it even has trading pairs in some places. I mean,
it's a coin.
It was treated as like the next big thing for a while, but that seems to have faded quite a bit.
Yeah, you can look at this big fade right here. I mean,
yeah, there's the fading.
Here's the thing about it. Like, a lot of alts fell during this time, but most of the time when they fall, I like to compare to Digibyte. So Digibyte's a good, just kind of a run-of-the-mill coin. It's been around for a while. People like it. It trades. It actually has, over time, been going up in comparison to BTC, although I haven't liked its look lately in the last month or two. But overall, Digibyte's been really strong. So if I go on the daily chart and kind of compare to, say, Litecoin, I could do an overlay, but this is much more fun. So if you do this, Digibyte kind of like has these, it's climbing up. First of all, it has an overall increase, although that is starting to wane a little bit, which actually has me concerned for Digibyte, but not concerned for my portfolio because they do not carry Digibyte. So, there you have it. Let's do this, kind of have this going on. That is not great because your trajectory actually is heading downwards in a way, or at least flattening out. But at least over this last year, it's overall been going up in comparison to Bitcoin. Litecoin is not. Litecoin has been going down in comparison to Bitcoin for basically that same period. Say since we will use December of 2017, and you do have a similar curve, I guess. But the problem is you start way up here and you head down. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. That's the overall average is a downward trend in Litecoin. And, people, I mean, if you kind of remove the fluke aspect of this right here, the overall average is a downtrend. The overall average is an uptrend. Now, Digibyte is not on Coinbase. Digibyte was not the next big thing. There are not that many Digibyte pairs that I know of. Digibyte is not being promoted by all kinds of people. Digibyte is just like a coin, and it's doing better than Litecoin. That's on Coinbase. That has a lot of accessibility. That has had more press than any other coin except for maybe like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yeah. Look, guys, you're looking at, and I say this all the time, nothing personal. This is the reality. This is just the reality. The charts do not lie. Because, the Litecoin is it'll pump. Well, sure. I mean, look, it pumped temporarily. There's money to be made trading Litecoin on short-term deals. You got 75 to 98, right? Now, if you're trading, great, play with Litecoin. I mean, I'm not giving financial advice here. This is just like what I would say to myself in the mirror. Hey, if you're trading, play with Litecoin. I'm talking to myself. But look, I mean, that's, what is that, 20% something, 25, maybe 30? But in reality, look how far back down it came. This is not a long-term.
You know what I love? I love when the creator and founder and CEO of Litecoin sells his Litecoin in almost like a altruistic manner, but he did it at what price level?
Pretty high. Like I'd say close to the top.
Yeah, it was like around 350, like basically at the peak.
I think you sold it at like 280. I think.
No, it was over $300, man.
Was it? Yeah, I don't know.
It was over 300 and change. He sold and he cashed out, and then he said, "Look at how altruistic I am." That tells you everything you need to know.
Well, I mean, hey, okay, so I'm a free market economist. I think people should be able to do whatever they want with their money. I am not faulting Charlie Lee. The statement I'm about to make is not a reflection on Charlie Lee, but any other industry, he'd be in jail.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 1,000%.
Any other industry,
1,000%.
He would have Martha Stewarted his way through a few years over at Club Fed.
Yep.
And that's and Charlie, dude, props, bro. Like I'm not even talking trash. You did what you had to do, and that's that. So,
Exactly.
Like I said, I think people should do whatever they want with their money as long as they're not like killing people, or taking somebody else.
Depends on who they're killing. Then I mean, let's not be so legalistic.
Yeah.
Let's make murder okay. All right, so but that's Litecoin. So Litecoin, just honestly,
let's wrap it up, man.
Yeah, we'll wrap that up. But here, this is the problem with Litecoin. If I was to say it without even words,
but there's no problem. It's perfect.
Circle right here.
It's God's gift to humanity, bro.
This is Litecoin's problem. All right, next coin. What do we want to talk about? Oh, PPT. PPT's got some issues. FJO. Okay, yeah. So 825 says that Charlie Lee sold his Litecoin at 270. But as far as PPT, why do I like it? I like PPT because it's a working platform. Okay, there are like 2,000 coins out there, and 99.9% of them are garbage. They're vapor. Yep. They're not real. They don't have a platform. They just took a bunch of money, and now they're in Malta, with their new friends. So you have PPT, where there are some. I had issues with PPT with Nico and some of the things that happened, but the reality is they're a working platform. They're actually factoring invoices. They're doing them very slowly, but God bless them. I mean, look, this is a relatively complex financial transaction that is being successfully moved onto the blockchain. This is cool. This is actually history making. So anybody who wants to talk trash on PPT, like I understand, but the reality is they're actually doing it. And a lot of people aren't. And I think it's maybe I might just buy some PPT like in this next little dip here, put it on my ledger and be like Cliff High and just have like the 600 that I need to feed my generations of kids, supposedly.
Exactly.
Is that what he said? 600.
That's that. I mean, we got some questions. V, do we have time to look at other charts? Or
no, we got to come to a hard stop. I got to jump on an international call with Phuket, Thailand.
Am I on this call to like just do some Litecoin songs?
Oh yes. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's too much controversy. People talk. Don't do it.
No, it's cool. All right,
don't
cool.
Do it.
We have.
Do it.
What do you guys got? Give me some.
No, I don't have anything.
Jesus.
No, we're good. We gotta go.
We gotta stop, man. I gotta call Phuket, Thailand on the real deal. It's like 3 in the morning over there.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming.
Thanks everybody.
My second show too. We get a lot of good info on the show before that. Pretty much.
Yeah, check that out. Don't forget, folks, we're 25% off 6 months right now.
Yes, the cryptoschool.io. Cryptoschool.io. Hasta la pasta. Bye-bye.
Bye.